Hold on. Can you hear me now? Oh, you can hear me now. Man, I still have a fucking thing. Grace, Lisa, and Neil. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you are here. Here's the thing about my hair. Can I just explain something about my hair? It does what it wants. I can't do anything to it. I can't make it curlier. I can't. Sometimes it's straight. You can't hear me now? No, you can. Can you hear me? Yeah, right? Let me make sure. I think that is it. I'm not muted, am I? Am I muted? Not now. Okay. Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I just like to complain about it. That's all. Oh, I forgot to turn on my fucking dinosaur head. Hello. Good day. Good day, my friends. Good day. Good morning. It's good to see you too. Hi, Spin. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you. Wait, let me just fix this a little bit. I should really get my you're fine except for the no picture. What does that mean? Wait, what do you mean? What's no picture? Are you winding me up? Anyway, good morning, Oomph. Good morning, Spinnaker. It's good to see you too. Happy Friday. All lol. That was a real lol. Happy Friday. I'm out of practice. Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh wait, where's the chat's not on the screen? Hold on. Show on stream. I don't know how to do anything here. There we go. Lolo, you're muted. Oh, well. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Oh, my goodness. It's great to see everyone. It's nice to see you too, Spin. Let's see. What is happening today? Oh, Pam Bondi, Pamela Joe is doing her thing today in front of Congress. Yeah. Pamela Joe is going to be sitting in front of the oversight committee. I think it's the oversight committee, isn't it? Yeah, you're muted is so old news. Yeah. Yay! Grace Lisa brought donut holes. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. I do have some reading for us this morning. And but yeah, Pamela Joe, she's like what is wrong with my eyes? Pamela Joe is like in the hot seat this morning. She's in the hot seat. And here's the thing, not speaking truth because caused her, Donut Urani. Donut, you love me? So that always reminds me. Donut, you love me? So Pam is going to be in front of Congress today to talk about the Epstein files. And here's the thing, I was listening to NPR this morning and they were talking about it. And, I keep reminding myself of this because frankly, I think this is a big deal and I hope I don't know. I don't think it'll be a big deal. Hi, Meowing. How are you? Meow, meow. So I think one of the big deals is that, she has lied during this process of the Epstein file release. And she has said on numerous occasions, it is all, Badger. Oh, you're in the beginning. Badger just hit live. You're at, oh, you can't hear me because you're in the, never mind. Anyway, so she has lied all the way along, as we know, about this, whole ridiculous release. Yeah, donut go gently into that good night. Yeah, that's right. I do not want to go gently into that good night. But But she lied about how many documents were left. Isn't there still like 3 million something ridiculous, like it keeps going. Oh, there's another 3 million. Oh, there's another 3 million. Oh, there's another 3 million. And she had said publicly, this person pointed out on the radio, that she made some very specific statements. And I don't know if she made them to Congress, right? So she might have just made these in public, which is definitely not, not something that I guess they can hold her to. But they were talking about the fact that she just simply lied about how many documents were outstanding and that she had released everything, like I think she said at one point. Come to the present. Come to the present. Yeah, so I think it was I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't think anything will come of it, obviously. And fun fact, Harmeet Dillon is there as her attorney because she's the DOJ civil rights person. Why is she there, I wonder? Teresa, good morning. I wonder why Harmeet Dillon would be representing the she Badger's like, no, I will not come to the present because I don't like it. Badger, you're right. It's so stupid. It's stupid. So we'll see if they hold Pamela Joe to any kind of account. I doubt they will. I don't think they will. So I know. I put her opening statement in Signal. Fuck yeah, Teresa. Yeah, man. Oh my God. I got all my sisters with me. I'm telling you right now, we have the most amazing group of people, and I do not count myself amongst those because let's see here. Where am I? Where am I? Where is, oh, wait. Oh, also, Teresa, breaking news in Signal. Judge temporarily blocks Trump's 1.8 anti-weaponization fund. Judge Leonie Brinkema Clinton wants to avoid irreversible action while one of several lawsuits against the fund plays out, hearing June 12th. Thank you, Teresa. That was from Kyle Cheney. I appreciate that. Oh my God, my nose is already running. Okay, here we go. Is this the Pam Bondies? Oh, okay, here we go. Redaction errors. Oh my God. Can you believe this? I can't fucking believe this. All right, here we go. Let's see what Teresa has for us here. Oh my goodness, Jesus. My nose is just ridiculous. All right, boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see. Let me do this and let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. Wait, that's not right. Oh, is that? No. What? What? Okay, wait. Something's funny with the link. Hold on. I gotta just get it out of there. Oh, it's in Bing. What the fuck is Bing? Jeez. My stuff open. This is why I hate PCs, but oh, where's my keyboard? Good morning. Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. Okay, let's close that. Okay. And then here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Ah! All right, we got to make this lower. I'm so sorry, everybody. Okay. And that won't let me raise it. Okay. All right, here we go. So anyway, Pam Bondi, thank you, Teresa. Pam Bondi tells lawmakers redaction errors were made in Epstein files release. The former attorney general is facing questions behind closed doors from lawmakers from the House Oversight Committee. I was right. I'm so excited. I know I was right. Okay, here we go. Former Attorney General Pamela Joe told lawmakers on House Oversight Committee on Friday that the Justice Department made redaction errors in its release of, what? How is it possible? Made redaction errors in its release of records related to Jeffrey Epstein. Let's see. Where am I? Oops. Actually, let's move this back over here since I'm cool with that. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Where am I? Okay. Whoops. Right. Okay. Bondi planned to tell the panel during her closed-door interview on Capitol Hill that she was assured by the team that the reviewed documents that the only materials that were withheld were either non-responsive, privileged, or duplicative. That's not true because they had all kinds of duplicative records in the Epstein files. Trust and believe. You're a liar. To the best of my
knowledge, the department produced everything required under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Our diligent and good faith effort to collect materials ensured that all potentially responsive documents that could reasonably be located would see the light of day. And, I take would see the light of day very, very literally, because all I did commit to you in that sentence was that I would bring them outside in the sunshine. And that's what I did. I brought them outside in the sunshine, outside the DOJ building, and then I ran back inside with them. And they saw the light of day, and that's all I promised to do. So, goodbye, everybody.
That's what her statement was. She planned to say in her opening statement. Bondi, whom Trump fired last month, said she didn't lead every aspect of the review of the Epstein files. Oh, shit. She's throwing... Hey, turd, there's a bus coming. Come here. I want you to jump in front of it. Said she didn't lead every aspect of the review of the Epstein files and delegated oversight of the process to then Deputy Attorney General Turd Blanche, who now serves as the acting Attorney General and personal lawyer to the president. Bondi, there were redaction errors, her opening remarks said, but since day one of this process, this department she acts all offended. This department has been committed to accountability and transparency. Just ask us. Our stance has always been that the department stands ready to review any potential evidence of criminal activity. Well, I have news for you, Pamela Joe. There's about 7 statements from people that were abused by Trump. So did you miss those? Potential evidence of criminal activity related to Epstein and his associates would pursue appropriate investigative or prosecutorial action wherever the facts and law warrant. So get off my case, toilet face. That's what she ended it with. It was kind of weird. It sounds like, actually, you know what? It sounds like there were redaction errors, but since day one of this process, this department has been committed. Yeah, it does sound like Cash, doesn't it? Well, yeah, they all end up sounding the same. Let's see. Here we go. Bondi and Trump's Justice Department had faced backlash over the release of the documents related to the late convicted sex offender, especially from, hold on, let me move this up here a little bit. Oh, no, don't do that. Especially from survivors of his abuse. The documents were heavily redacted, but exposed survivors' names after assurances that they would be protected. Oops. I guess the find and replace didn't work, did it? All right. Democrat lawmakers have also said that the DOJ redacted the names of men who may have participated in the abuse. And frankly, they know the names of men who participated in the abuse, and they don't care. Okay? So it doesn't matter if they redacted men, because even the ones that they didn't redact, they're not going to do anything about. Hi, Dan. Hi, Griffey. I hope people don't fall for MTG's long-winded lie today. We are so far behind. Yeah, Jen Griffey. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, they don't. Yeah. She's just, it's so interesting. Wait, what was I watching? Okay. Wait, let me think about that, because you just made me think about something else. Because I was watching PBD this morning, which I have something we should talk about with Pretty Big Dick's podcast, and God bless CoffeeZilla, and also I can't think of what I was thinking of, but it's okay. I'll come back to it because you just made me think of something. All right. The documents were heavily redacted but exposed survivors' names after assurances and the management. Okay. The firestorm around the Epstein files release began after Bondi said during a February 2025 appearance on Fox News that she had an Epstein client list on her desk, a claim that never came to fruition. Oh my God. In July 2025, the Justice Department and FBI released an unsigned memo saying there was no evidence of such a client list or that Epstein had blackmailed prominent people, and concluding the financier had died by suicide, igniting further backlash and calls for transparency, including among some staunch Trump supporters. The uproar led to Congress to pass a bill last year compelling the DOJ to release its records related to Epstein, but the final release was delayed while Blanche at the time blamed in part the sheer number of files. Our thumbs are tired of thumbing through them. And the sensitivity around redactions. Before the oversight panel's interview with Bondi began on Friday, survivors stood outside the hearing room and asked Chairman James Comer, Kentucky, if the committee would seek answers about why survivors' identities were made public, but not that of perpetrators. I hope so. Those are questions we're going to ask, Jimmy said. We want justice for the survivors, maybe. He was crossing his fingers, though. Comer told reporters ahead of the deposition that the government had failed Epstein survivors, and he is taking this investigation very seriously. He said among the questions he planned to ask Bondi were, what documents remain? Why haven't they been turned over? We're going to try and determine whether or not there can be more documents. So here's the other thing. Would they get in trouble for that memo? Would they get in trouble for the memo to say, oh, man. Which, when it said, there's nothing to see here, could they get in trouble for that memo, I wonder? Because that is something that's an official government document. It's not like under oath or anything. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Do you guys know what I mean? Thank you, Teresa, for that story. I really appreciate it. Here we go. Sharon. Hey, good morning, Sharon Brown. How are you, love? Dave Troy said to watch for MTG, Massey, and Ro Khanna to form a third America First party. Ro Khanna? America First? I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. I don't know. Would I've never really liked Ro Khanna. Something about him gives me the ick because I think he's too embedded in Silicon Valley. Okay, that's just it. But at the same time, I can't see him doing an America First. But Dave knows what he's like. He can read tea leaves pretty goddamn well. It's the perfect out for Trumpers mad at Trump. Yeah, no, you're so right. I mean, we should really. There is a good situation brewing that we could talk about in terms of what's happening in the split of the Republican Party. I'd kind of be curious to see if they kind of get their shit together and actually do become a third party, or if this is a way to just, I don't know, pull support away from certain parts of MAGA. He gives me, Ro Khanna, gives conservative and Democrat clothing vibes. Yeah, I think he's a tech bro. I think he's a tech bro wannabe. I think that's my vibe that I've always got him. Third position. Well, that makes sense. I mean, but what vote are they going to split? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think, I could be wrong. Yeah, Candace Owens too. And Tucker Carlson. Come on. Yeah, so I mean, definitely they could do a third position. I don't think that's going to hurt Democrats, even if Ro Khanna goes over. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't think people will, first of all, accept Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. They might fall for a little, sweet little, MTG saying, oh, I'm sorry. I said all those terrible things. I really hate Trump and I think he's terrible. You know what I mean? Yeah, not smart. Yeah. But I could see them doing that. But I just, you can fall for that shit anytime you want to. But and you can fall for the Tucker Carlson stuff, but really realize, okay, what is happening with all of those people? And if I see Ro Khanna go on a podcast with Nick Fuentes, that's a problem. So, go ahead, MTG and Tucker and Candace, but you're hanging out with Nick Fuentes. And I'm sorry right now, that's not gonna fly. Griffey, big left accounts are platforming them, thinking it's helping. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the Tea Party of Tea Party, micro caucus. I love that micro caucus. That's so great. It is all weird. It's all weird. Here's the thing. I think the more progressive is going to be the more he does. He reads the Tea Party leaves. Yeah, he does read the Tea Party leaves. I think I think the progressive movement is what's really kind of taking hold in people's hearts. I'm sorry. I think people are realizing, especially with Mom Donnie's tutelage of New York, I think they're realizing that there is a different way, and that that the Democrats have become too corporate and have become too not willing to stand for each other, right? That's fucking, I don't think I've ever really, I mean, I have, that's not true. But the fact sorry, the fact that Democrats aren't standing with people, in this moment, why is this doing this? I'm so sorry. Is really shocking to me. It's really shocking to me. So I don't know. I feel like the energy is on the side of a more progressive conversation, and I'm going to do everything I can to encourage that, frankly. So there you go. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to show. Okay, so you know how I watch the PBD broadcast, right? You know how I do that. I watch those terrible people in the morning. So PBD is Patrick Bet David, if you don't know. And Patrick Bet David is a con man, and he runs an MLM called what is it called? Well, it's not Valuetainment. Valuetainment is the name of his big company, but he runs an MLM that is about selling insurance, right? And I actually had a student, not of the high school, but when I was running after school programs, there was a young lady who came through our program, and she got involved with Primerica. I think they're called Primerica. Anyway, so she had graduated high school. She was working for this Primerica thing. And so she called me and she's like, "Hey, would you come to meet my workplace, and talk to my boss? And I'm really proud of what I'm doing, and da 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 and da 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 da." And I'm like, "Yeah, I would definitely like to do that." So I went and met with her boss at Primerica, and literally he was trying to recruit me in to sell more insurance. Like, this was also an insurance scam, right? Like a MLM. Well, it's a multi-level marketing company. And this particular MLM, and Patrick Bet David's as well, it turns out, with some of the research that I've done, really emphasizes going after young people from low-income communities who may not have, access to college or whatever it is, and they rope them into this sales job. And the job, of course, is to recruit more agents. That's the job of the people in the MLM, right? So, so I took a deep breath because I had already worked in financial services. I knew what the fuck I was looking at. And so I just started asking some very pointed questions. And, I mean, I ended up walking out and saying, I don't think this is a great idea for you, but you know what? I will support you 110% in whatever you want to do, and blah, blah, blah. But I've seen it. I've seen MLMs and how they work on the minds of young people to promise them stability, security, money, etc. And it ends up being just a fucking boondoggle where those folks are working their fucking asses off trying to bring in leads and all this bullshit. Okay. So it's really sad. So anyway, Patrick Bet David also rose to fame for an MLM that he has, which has a very similar story. And there's plenty of YouTube's channels about kind of debunking him and exposing him for what he is, whatever. But he's got a very popular podcast now. Now, last night I was going to bed. I was laying in bed, my sleepy little head on the pillow, and I was looking, just doom scrolling on YouTube. And I came across one of our favorites at the lounge, CoffeeZilla. We know we love CoffeeZilla. So this is a little bit of a lengthy thing, but I kind of want to play it. There's two videos that CoffeeZilla or Voidzilla, he has a couple different names, he made about Patrick Bet David. And I won't play the whole thing of the second, but I want to play the first one and then part of the second one. Hold on. Let me just hold on. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. Anyway, good morning. What's going on? What's going on? It's too windy here. Okay, here we go. Now, here we are. Here's our favorite dude, CoffeeZilla. Mix of truth and lies. This shit really did a number on us. Yeah, Griff, it sure did. Is any room is a situation with poopy pants? Wait, did I miss something? I thought Lolo said a mom, so I wondered what the heck. Oh, yeah. He's in a mom thing. It's Friday. Who knows? 12 in chat, only 5 likes. What the fuck? Hey, share the broadcast. That's right. I keep coming back from, I've never hit 1,500 subscribers. I go to $14.99 and then I come back too. Those fuckers. Copy that share link. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I know it's an extra step. It does help though, very, very much, and I appreciate it. All right, we're going to listen to one of my favorite people, CoffeeZilla, and he's going to tell you a little bit about Patrick Bet David.
Video, there is a follow-up where I actually got a hold of Patrick Bet David. So in this video, you'll see that I asked to talk to him multiple times. He did not respond until right before I uploaded the video. I tweeted about it. He got in my DM, says he actually does want to talk. So you can hear him address all the allegations I'm about to bring up in this video, and you can decide for yourself what you think of Patrick Bet David's response. So I've been waiting for Patrick Bet David to reply to this Goliath story where he reportedly got a huge payment from a Ponzi schemer, and I want to know if they're going to pay it back. It's just as simple as that. I want to know if they're going to apologize for their role in legitimizing a total scammer, which hasn't been done yet as far as I'm aware. I reached out to the PBD organization, Patrick Bet David personally. It's been about a week. I haven't heard back, so I have to talk about it. Now, if you don't know the full lore, let me bring you up to speed really quick. Goliath Ventures was a Ponzi scheme that took in over $320 million of regular people, retirees, business owners' money under the promise of making them multiple percents per month. We made a CoffeeZilla video about it recently. Christopher Delgado recently talked to the press here without his lawyer present, and we reported this back in October to federal authorities, and about 6 months later, Christopher Delgado was officially arrested.
The Justice Department says the 34-year-old scammed investors out of $328 million through his company, Goliath Ventures.
Meaning we're no longer speculating here. He has been formally charged. He's even admitted a lot of this in interviews.
So what happened to their money that should have been sitting in an account?
Their money was being used to make distributions.
To who?
To either them or other investors.
And what else did you use the money for?
I mean, we used it for corporate events. We used it for personal spend.
So this goes way beyond the like, oh, it's just allegations, bro. Like Christopher Delgado has confessed to a lot of this behavior. And where Patrick Bet David comes into all of this is because he was a huge form of social proof for Christopher Delgado to seem legit. His entire organization kind of made this guy mainstream.
Goliath Ventures, founded in 2019. Goliath Ventures is a global private equity firm focused on blockchain, founded by Chris Delgado. It's built on 3 pillars: technology, opportunity, and community.
And this is why I reached out to Patrick Bet David and his team only to get no response. I'm expecting some accountability here. Our story starts in 2025 when this guy, Christopher Delgado, is on stage at the Patrick Bet David Vault Conference. He was the title sponsor for them, and he used it as an opportunity to kind of pitch himself.
I could make passive income for myself, raise my family, and basically enjoy life.
Now, even when you go to Patrick Bet-David's own summary, you can see Goliath in this video, in their own highlight reel, where they are the title sponsor, Goliath Ventures. They're apparently on the lanyard. Right here, you can see Goliath Ventures, Inc. signed on as the title sponsor to the Vault 2025 conference. And they even made like a pitch video of why you should be a brand sponsor of the Vault conference.
More than 2,000 CEOs lead teams of 75 plus employees. They come from around the world to grow, scale, and do business. And they don't just attend, they engage. Last year, 85% interacted with sponsors on site. The response from attendees was overwhelmingly positive.
So it's pretty clear what Vault is pitching. Hey, we'll give you access to this, entrepreneurship conference, these attendees. You pay us, we'll get you hooked up with them. And that's exactly what Goliath Ventures did. Now, when you go to the Vault Conference sponsorship tier, you can see they advertise the benefit of the title sponsorship right here. Get an MGM strip marquee signage, a 40 by 40 foot booth, brand badging, that's what we just saw, on-site attendee email list. I guess you can email them if you want. Main stage moment with Patrick Bet-David, marketing, hard post on socials, PBD podcast shout out. I think that's one of the big ones. Patrick Bet-David's podcast reaches millions of people. And true to his word, he pushed Goliath like a lot.
Fall Conference this year is brought to you by Goliath Ventures. The title sponsor of this entire event is Goliath Ventures. Founder Chris Delgado. We've spent a lot of time with these guys. They've come to Yankees games with us. They've been coming to Vault conferences for the last God knows how many years. Goliath Ventures, founded in 2019. Goliath Ventures is a global private equity firm focused on blockchain, founded by Chris. You can go search them, Goliath Ventures. Inc.com to learn more about them. They'll be at the Vault conference all over the place.
Yeah, he said those guys would be all over the place, and he was right. Now, before, we didn't really know exactly how much this cost. We knew it must be significant, but this was used as a huge, social proof that Christopher Delgado was someone to be trusted. After all, presumably not just anyone can be a title sponsor of this prestigious entrepreneurship event, right? This was brought up by this guy who interviewed Christopher Delgado, basically, hey, you're friends with, Patrick Bet-David.
On social media, I follow him very closely, the private jet. You see the celebrities, you see Patrick Bet-David standing next to you at the Yankee Stadium, where you come from a trailer park.
Oh, who is that? You see Patrick Bet-David. He's being used clearly as hey, Christopher Delgado is rubbing shoulders with the right guys, okay? So imagine my surprise. All of this unwinds, Christopher Delgado gets arrested, $328 million Ponzi scheme. It was all a lie. The Vault 2025 #1 title sponsor was a big fraud that was trying to steal people's money. And then I see this on a Channel 9 Investigates segment. This is Darlene Jones. Guess who we see come up as one of the big payments that Goliath Ventures made?
$1 million to this long list of organizations across Central Florida. Some of the largest donations went to Equity Estates, Bet-David Consulting.
Look at that! 1 million smackies to go be the title sponsor at the Vault conference. Or at least that's what it looks like. Maybe he was just paying for this photo. I don't really know. And my key question to the Patrick Bet-David group, to Valuetainment, is are y'all paying that money back? You shouldn't be letting yourself be used as social proof for a Ponzi scheme. I would think that would be a bad thing. I would think that would be a problem. I'd think that's be something you would address if they're your title sponsor, 2025, $1 million. You'd think you'd want to put that to bed immediately and say, hey, we don't want this basically blood money. So that was my question to Patrick Bet-David, among others. I said, hey, Patrick, I'm reaching out because the title sponsor of last year's Vault conference was a fraud. Wanted to ask you for comment about this, as I would likely address it in more detail. I asked him, how well he knew Chris Delgado, if he's planning to return the revenue for the sponsorship to the Ponzi scheme victims. And this is an important point because I said, seems like even charities Goliath sent money to may be asked to turn the money over. So this is a very sad aspect of this Ponzi scheme. Is Christopher Delgado, part of what he used as social proof was that he was also donating to charities like Runway to Hope. And reportedly, some of those organizations are going to actually have to return the money back. Like they're going to have to claw that money back to give it to the Ponzi scheme victims, which is really sad given that most of them probably spent the money. I'm guessing these charities need the money a lot more than Patrick Bet David does. So, I think it's pretty important he addresses whether they're going to give the money back. We haven't heard back. I reached out also via email, hey, address this, guys. You have to, seems pretty obvious, and you probably should apologize for your association. Because previously, Patrick Bet David was actually asked about none other than yours truly. About, hey, CoffeeZilla, we did an interview with Patrick Bet David where I confronted him on his MLM ties. That's, where he made a lot of his money. And he said that he was unafraid to answer, these questions, these key questions. Otherwise, why would he go on my show?
Of course.
Do you think if I was worried about my business model, I would go on CoffeeZilla? What do you think? Do you
I think that it's not really capitalist.
Hang on a second. Do you think if I was worried about my business model, I would go on CoffeeZilla? They were actually very strong when they came back after me. We had a 2-hour conversation.
Yes.
We finished it. It was good to go. We moved on.
So there it is. He's not afraid to, answer the hard questions. Well, here's another hard question, I guess. Give the money back. In fact, Patrick Bet David was even recently subpoenaed in this case. So it's very likely he's going to have to turn over the records anyways. It's very obvious that they're probably going to have to turn back the money. I think they just should take credit for it now. They eventually will likely have to do it anyways. But I think they need to go a step further and say, hey, here's how we're not going to let this happen in the future. Go into our Vault conference, our title sponsor. Here's how we're not going to allow a Ponzi scheme to be the title sponsor again. And ultimately, this guy needs to apologize. For a guy.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next video because he actually does talk to Patrick Bet David. So hold on, let me get this.
You're having those conversations.
Right,
Sponsored the Goliath Ventures. Look, video is here. I uploaded it because I thought it is not going to make sense what we're talking about unless you have that context. He immediately DM'd me, said, hey, look, I want to call. So I'm posting this video immediately afterwards, unedited, because I want you guys to hear my call with Patrick Bet David. I addressed the apology. You should apologize for taking this guy on, this Ponzi scheme. You promoted it. You'll hear me talk about the $1 million. Say, hey, can you commit right now to getting this money back to the victims of this scheme? And finally, I asked him, what he has to say to the, people who go to his Vault conference and want answers. Okay, just confirming that I'm recording starting now. This is Patrick Bet David. We're talking about the Vault conference sponsored the Goliath Ventures. Look, ultimately the big question is this. One, are you returning the $1 million paid to your consulting company back to the receivership, back to the victims? And two, I think, look, a lot of people got hurt in this. You were the number one, probably credibility person in this. How does that feel? Are you going to apologize? Are you going to address it, publicly? I think people want to know. People look to you, as this entrepreneurship guy. It is frankly a bad look.
Yeah. So first of all, you hate to see things like this. Hate to see things like this that happens. And every once in a while, this takes place. When an issue like this comes up.
Come on. Call just dropped. Bro? Hold on, let me call him back. Patrick, how's it going?
Okay, I'm good now. I'm in the backyard. Service is good. Go for it.
We're back. Okay, so just to recap the question. You've got $1 million coming to you from Goliath Ventures. And first of all, I'd like to know where that's money's going. Secondly, a lot of people got hurt by this. You are the number one voice of credibility in all of this, kind of putting this guy on, so to speak. What do you have to say to people who lost money? Do you apologize to them? What can you do to make it right? All these questions.
Yeah, so look, all valid questions. This is, typically when we do sponsorship, if you know anything about me, Stephen, I hate doing sponsorships. We stopped doing sponsorships on the podcast 2 years ago because of this exact reason. We literally stopped. It's probably cost us $15 to $20 million of sponsorship the last 2 years. The only place we've taken sponsorship money for outside of the basic.
Hi, Sharon. Okay, so this is, I'm just taking a moment to share CoffeeZilla. So he spoke to Patrick Bet David about a relationship that Patrick Bet-David had with a fraudster, with a Ponzi scheme. He took $1 million from this Ponzi scheme to sponsor his big annual conference. And now the guy who is was the sponsor is jammed up in the justice system because they found out about the Ponzi scheme, right? And he cheated a bunch of investors and blah, 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 blah. The usual way the Ponzi scheme ends. So now CoffeeZilla is confronting Patrick Bet-David for the fact that he platformed this guy for years and also took $1 million in 2025 from him. Is he going to give the money back? Because now they have to make investors whole again. And does he apologize for platforming and making this Ponzi scheme guy a credible actor? So that's kind of what we're listening to. So he managed to get Patrick Bet-David on the phone to actually talk to him about and ask him directly, will you give the money back? And do you apologize for, standing up for a Ponzi scheme asshole?
YouTube AdSense that you get, that you're accustomed to it as well. We do the events. So if I do a Vault conference, there's a moment for networking and people set up their booth. And so this guy came to the Vault conference for the last 4 years. And at the end of it, one of my reps comes up to me. I've never spoken to him. We've seen him at the event, typically with everybody else.
He's the
and he says
boy.
He wants to be the title sponsor. Okay, great. He goes through the whole thing. We go through the background that our legal team does. Obviously, we make reference calls. We call others to see what they can say about him. And we call people that we had known for 10 plus years.
Nobody flagged him. Nobody flagged the 4 to 5% a year or a month. I'm sorry.
No, it's a fair question. It's the most disappointing thing. Not one person that's done business with him flagged him. Okay.
Okay. So what he just said there is kind of important because I don't know how much this came out, but this Ponzi scheme to the insiders was bragging about returns of 4 to 5% a month, which is almost impossible unless you're just taking other people's money and paying it out to the investors. So that's what Patrick Bet-David is smart enough to know that, Patrick Bet-David is smart enough to know that those returns are impossible. So Patrick Bet-David, I would eat my hat if he didn't absolutely know that this was a Ponzi scheme. So, yeah.
And so then we say, great, let's go through the sponsorship. Now, when you do sponsorship, you have to deliver on stuff. So meaning we have to set up the booth. We have to set up all these different place where people walk up to them, these 20 by 30, 30 by 30, 40 by 40 booth that you create for them, that they have an opportunity for people to go through. So we flew in. Typically when somebody becomes a sponsor, we fly in, we meet them in Vegas, and then we show them, or whatever hotel we're going to be at, and we'll say, hey, here's your location. You're the title sponsor. We're going to put it here. And then, their logo is going to be in different places, but it's not a endorsement. So it's not like I endorse. It's a sponsorship.
It does feel like an endorsement, though. You're
right. No, you're right. I agree. And by the way, again, we learn. So for us, we said we're going to do two, what do you call it? The Vault conference is brought to you by Goliath. Okay, so we did that a couple times because that was part of the title sponsor. By the way, we've changed our entire title sponsor stuff that we're doing, where if it's not like a Fortune, 2000 company, we don't even want to entertain it. Because sometimes the best way is to make sure other investors have vetted them. And listen, in this space, there's a lot of risk in any of this space you get into.
Right, but he's the title sponsor. This is just last year. This isn't like 5 years ago.
Right.
No, you're right.
And it was 3 endorsements. At one point it sounded like an ad read. You're like, the 3 pillars or this. It read like ad copy the way you're reading it.
No, we never did endorsement. We said it's sponsored. And by the way, I'm just so you know, there's certain things I can't talk about. There's certain things I can because we're cooperating with the federal authorities, and we're having meetings with them. We're having conversations with them. All of this stuff will be public. We've learned a lot of things about
You've
this
been
guy.
subpoenaed, right? Like you have been subpoenaed, correct?
Of course, absolutely.
So are you going to turn the money over? That seems to be an important question.
That's the conversation we're in right now, and you will hear all about it when the decision is made.
Decision?
Well, what decision? I feel like we could make a decision now and do a good thing, you know?
Stephen, I know what you're doing. The part that you don't know about the way I do business, you know I don't avoid you. Meaning, if you and I did something together many years, I'm not a guy that's going to be sitting there running, avoiding. When we make mistakes, we'll call it out. When we do things that is right, you know, great, we're celebrated. This is not one of the things that we're celebrating. We're not happy about this, and we're doing a lot of things behind closed doors. The part that I'll give you one part that I think it's important to know, and for your audience to know, the part that a lot of people they're concerned with, and I'm talking specifically the authorities, is the people that were working with them getting paid big money. Those are the ones that they're targeting in a big way. We've not, like, this wasn't a,
they're not
you know
coming
how
after
sometimes you do
us.
certain crypto deals?
No.
And it's like, hey, affiliate, you're going to get this much money for this affiliate. Zero. We didn't accept nothing like that. So there isn't, hey, we're going to pay you.
Wow, that's really interesting that having not been asked about this, Patrick Bet David goes into great detail about the fact that they don't have any payola scheme with this particular Ponzi scheme. Like they're not getting anything off the top. They're just getting a straight up, kind of investment. It's just a sponsorship. What the hell?
10% on whatever that's done. Zero. We don't do business.
Right. You got paid but you got paid the million, right? And so
but the $1 million has
and look, I'm not. I know it sounds like I'm trying to put you on the spot. I'm not. It just seems like you're gonna have to fork it over eventually for the receivership, anyways. Like so many people lost money. It seems like an easy win, you know.
And that's the part where I'm in right now. You gotta respect that part that I'm going with. I gave you the respect of getting on a call with you and giving you the information. The information will come out.
No, I appreciate it. So you're not sure whether you're paying the money back yet or not. You're having those conversations.
But here's the other part that you also don't know. You don't know if we're doing other things with the conversations we're having with others. There's a lot of different things that we're doing that's not public. The only thing you know is the stuff that you're hearing.
Okay.
What we have to do right now is individually, as we're going through this, a matter of fact, I'll make a commitment to you. Once everything is finalized with this, you'll be the first phone call that I'll make to share with you, because over the years you've been fair to me and I respect the fact that we have this relationship. I think you do a very good job. This was definitely not a good look. We're not happy about this ourselves. I take 100% of responsibility as the face of this company. And we have to get better next time. We just do.
Right. So obviously y'all are about to run the Vault conference again. It might be a reasonable concern.
And guess what? You want to know something? We're about to run the Vault conference again, and we don't have a title sponsor for this exact reason.
Because you were worried about it, or nobody coughed up the million?
No, not because we don't have people that don't want to be titled.
Okay.
Not because we don't have people that don't want to be titled. Because as you run a company and you go through building a business, one of my previous companies you and I talked about, I sold it 4 years ago. You're going to make a lot of business as an operator. You have to make adjustments and improve. You just do. And so for us, as we sat there with our team and our executive team, we said, what do we need to do for this not to happen again? Well, guess what? The criteria of becoming a title sponsor just became more difficult. And so it's not something that we spend a lot of money on this event. This is not like an event that we do that is a small event. There's a lot of hard costs for the event. But it changed the guidelines. It changed the guidelines on who we're going with, and we'll entertain different levels of sponsors. But even right now, the lowest level of sponsorship, we're declining. I would say 50% of people that are wanting to become sponsors.
Okay, so you're adjusting the sponsorship guidelines after this kind of debacle.
Absolutely.
So you're thinking about the 1 million. Maybe not. You said you're having some other conversations. What about an apology? I know it's usually not that you're not the type, but I think given the context, you're the biggest name. I mean, like, I cannot overstate this guy. I talked to a lot of the victims in this case. You know, a lot of people, they come in, they see a big name like yours. It's just immediate trust, right? They say, hey, it's Patrick Bet-David. I know that guy. He wouldn't be at the Yankee Stadium with this guy if it was nothing. It wouldn't be the Vault title conference, guy. So to those people, to the people who may have invested because they saw your name attached, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, and again, fair question. This is what I'll tell you. When you and I become investors, and I'll call a guy that's a guy I respect a lot. He's a billionaire, and he's done a lot of deals.
Eyelashes are.
And he'll introduce me to a deal, and I'll get into it, and I'll put whatever, $5 million, $2 million, $500,000, $100,000. It doesn't go right. I'm the risk taker. Okay, I'm the risk taker that chose to invest into that deal. The onus is with me, the individual that chose to take the risk. So I took the risk of accepting this guy as the title sponsor. At that time, we didn't find anything. For me to apologize, it's apologizing for a mistake he made? No. What could we have done to find something else? There was nothing else to find what the guy was doing.
The whole pitch of Goliath was 3 to 5% a month. That's just unsustainable. You know that. I know that. Like, everybody knows.
Everybody knows
3
that.
to 5% a month. That doesn't happen.
No.
There are quite a few guys in the space that do that in a way that's worked for them, that are slightly more conservative. But again, for us, when we're sitting down,
who though? Who? I don't even know who. No, I don't think that's true.
Month.
I have to push back on that.
Yeah.
Not at a 3 to 5%, but this is not an abnormal model.
It's very abnormal.
Totally no. The pitch he was making was abnormal. When you actually looked at the pitch he was making, it was completely abnormal. It was not a normal hedge fund.
If you let me finish, I'll tell you my perspective.
Yeah.
This form is not abnormal. The numbers he chose was abnormal. I think the more now we think about it, what this guy was relying on is the following. This is my speculation, and you can take an angle with it or not. I think this guy was hoping that Bitcoin was going to go to $250,000 and he was going to get away with it, and it didn't. And it ended up, putting him in the situation he is right now for $328 million. This guy's going to be facing, many, many years of prison time. This is not a small little crime that he committed. So for us, if I were to tell you, hey, my guys knew and we investigated this and we knew everything about him and we did, I would apologize. We did not know. I
don't think you're apologizing because you knew. I think you're apologizing for not doing the due diligence that someone of your stature.
I've already told you, Stephen, as a leader, the way I have gotten to where I'm at in my life right now is as a leader. I take responsibility for the decisions we've made, and we have to get better when it comes down to this.
Okay, I'm going to end it there, but I'll link those in the description. I mean, here's the thing. I think Patrick Bet-David might have had more of a relationship with this Ponzi scheme than he's saying. All right. And I think he's scared. And I know that I have fair confidence that CoffeeZilla doesn't really go out on these limbs unless he has the goods and that he has spoken to victims and that he had, So I would keep an ear out. First of all, if the Justice Department or someone else intervenes to drop the case against Goliath Ventures, or whatever, Craig Delgado, that's something to watch out for, whether or not the charges get dropped and whether or not Patrick Bet-David gets, investigated. Because this could be bad for him. Because actually, the 3 to 5% pitch is bad. That everybody in the investment world would know that stinks. I'm sorry. It just does. And it just has all the earmarks of a really solid Ponzi scheme. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch this case. We'll keep an eye on it. But I just thought, I just love that he confronts people with the information in such a clear manner and has done his work. And, I really appreciate that. So anyway, that is My Patrick Bet David moment. The Patrick Bet David moment. All right, let's talk about what's that? Are those roses? Oh, red flag. Red flag. All right, let me get some. I have some nice little articles for us. So we'll have some snuggly reading, a Friday snuggly read by the fire. I'm having the need to feel very snuggly today. I don't know why. It's a little chilly here in Los Angeles. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what it is. Let's see if anything's happening. Yeah. Oh wait, let me get my articles. Anybody? No. Okay. All right. Wah. Okay, first up, an article from Tina. Tina. Yeah, I love Tina. Tina. We love our Tina. Better make some hot cocoa. That's right. Get snuggly. Pull your little throw across your shoulders. Snuggle in with your coffee or your cocoa or your water or your beer. I don't care, really. I'm not your mom. Okay. All right. Let's read about Stephen Miller. All right, this is an NPR. Oh, this is actually from 2019, but Tina shared it, and I really wanted to read it because I think Stephen Miller is also kind of an interesting character to keep our eye on. I don't know. But let's talk about it. Let's go over some history of good old fucking Stevie Miller. All right. Former Breitbart editor Katie McHugh tells NPR's Lulu Garcia-Navarro that the White House senior advisor Stephen Miller assisted in her radicalization as a white supremacist. Well, let's learn how he did that. Emails from Stephen Miller indicate he harbored racist and Islamophobic views. Now the woman he was writing to says he helped radicalize her as a white supremacist. Miller worked in the Senate at the time for Jeff Sessions. He's now a senior advisor to President Trump and now is running the complete concentration camps here in the United States. Thank you very much. Let's see. She was fired in 2017 after racist tweets. Katie McHugh joins us now. All right. Let's just kind of skip around this I'm going to start with a pointed question about your motives because people may wonder, you've tweeted things in the past that were racist, things that got you fired from an already far-right website. You told CNN you don't have a full-time job or consistent lodging. Is this a bid to regain respectability by taking aim at someone many people dislike? You know, my personal life is simply of my concern. What I will say is that I believe no matter what happens to me, these emails must be made, public. The public needs to see full and complete transparency. And I do not do this for, money at all. Receive no money. I sacrificed a great deal to make sure that these were carefully vetted and that weren't given to organizations that would simply pull one or two things for clickbait. I don't think you need to. Oh, I gave them to the SPLC. Whoops. And especially the reporter Michael Edison Hayden, because I believe he's the best investigative reporter in the country to carefully go through them and understand that there's an entire network and structure of white nationalism that has infiltrated conservatism. Oh, infiltrated it? Okay, sweetie. It's a feature, not a bug. All right, honey. Nice try. And furthermore, is now in control of the White House. No shit. Last month, when we learned of the contents of these emails you gave to the SPLC, these emails which Miller has not disavowed, we saw hostility to immigrants from both Miller and yourself. McHugh says he did not disavow them because they are authentic. He can't deny their authenticity. The only thing that they can do is deflect. And I'm appalled that they would say that it is an anti-Semitic attack. That actually breaks my heart. You're referring to the White House's response. Yes. Okay. Fact of accusing Stephen Miller or releasing these emails is based on the fact that he's Jewish, and they view this as an anti-Semitic attack. McHugh, that's absurd. And your background, where you come from doesn't matter. It's your actions and your word. This is a person who believes in discredited race science and eugenics and how you craft policy to hurt people, especially people of color, especially Muslims. Well, that's a packed sentence right there, isn't it? Packed sentence. Oh my God. Wait. Come see. Wait. Oh, come on. Wait. What? Be right back. Bye. Be back. Come back, Tom. That are barely mentioned by Dems. Wait. What did I miss? The Stephen Miller is barely mentioned. It's what do you understand his? What did you understand his role to be at Breitbart? It's there that we see in these emails Stephen Miller suggesting stories to you. Some of the things he pointed you to were from white power groups. He approvingly quoted an infamous white power book, The Camp of the Saints. McHugh, Stephen was the editorial director of the political section. Explain how that worked exactly. He would suggest something and then you would do it. I was introduced to him by Matthew Boyle, who's the Washington political editor of Breitbart, in around June 2015. It was understood I would take editorial direction from him. Let me just pick through this and see. Breitbart has called you a liar, said that you were fired for many things that weren't just that tweet. But we also know that Steve Bannon, who headed Breitbart when you were there, called it a platform for the alt-right. And there's a lot of reporting that's shown that there was a political strategy behind the stories that Breitbart chose and that Bannon chose and who they were targeted. Did you have a sense of that while you were there? Did everyone understand what they were a part of? Yes, McHugh says, and being fired from Breitbart was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I'm certainly not a disgruntled employee. There are actually many. Like, I'm not a conservative. What? But there are many very good conservatives working for that website, and I wish they would walk away. This is about morality and about like abiding by your conscience. But when you were there, did you understand that you were part of sort of a political agenda? Well, this is where the interview ends for me. I didn't understand at the time. I was very young. You have to understand, this is my second job, 10 months out of college. I was 23. I'm not saying that to excuse myself, but I am. I'm saying that this is going to happen to more young people. We see how the internet, especially Facebook and Twitter, are engines for radicalization. Why do you think this ideology is getting so much traction right now? You say that you're actually wanting to speak out so that people can be alerted at how this infiltrated so many parts of our life. What are your thoughts on that? Why is it happening? That's a good question. And I apologize if my answer is imprecise. But I feel that people are isolated and the internet has boxed us into tiny little compartments all alone by ourselves. Oh, well, that's great. And whenever Stephen was emailing me nonstop, calling me nonstop, well, not nonstop, what? But like frequently, that's what's being pumped into your brain and it changes you. And what I suggest to people is to do something like I did, which is to say, screw this. I'm going to become a waitress. I'm going to talk to real people. Sorry. All right, she escaped the alt-right. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for playing our game. Well, I was hoping there was something a little more in there about Stephen, but that's okay. Beam. I like having oops. What is this? This is, oh wait, I gotta do this. Hold on. I'm in. No. This is another Tina. Another Tina moment. Another Tina moment. Yeah. All right. This is from The Intercept. Ex-Trump campaign chief funneled millions of Israeli government money to his longtime allies' companies. Oh my God, it's Brad Parscale again. Woo! I have a great collage of Brad. I should probably find one. Miller quotes Goebbels way too. I mean, this is the thing. He's not. He's basically a fucking Nazi. Okay, he hates everybody who isn't white. He might even hate some white people because he just feels very less than. You know what I mean? Like when you feel less than, you strike out. Speaking of less than, Brad Parscale, domestic abuser, drunk, Nazi. Brad's got it all. New public disclosures. This is from May 28th. Thank you, Tina. New public disclosures reveal a web of right-wing businesses being paid by Israel through Brad Parscale. Huh? Oh. All right, here we go. Oh, and there he is. Oh my God. Hi, Brad. Oh my God, you look really scary. Like a bug. He looks like a bug. He looks like if a bug had a human face, like a cockroach. This is what a cockroach would look like if it were a human. Don't you think? I mean, I'm being kind of serious right now. I'm not like trying to just wind him up. Yeah, 100% Nazi. Yeah, 100%. I gotta find that. I gotta find that picture I made of him. I have a beautiful collage of Brad Parscale's arrest outside his Florida home. Yeah, from the body cams. It's fantastic. Ever notice how Miller doesn't stand square with the camera, his head and body go in two different directions? Oh my gosh, I haven't noticed that, Sharon, but now I'm going to look. Wow, now I'm going to look. All right, 12 viewers, come on, share this broadcast. Somebody needs to know about this. I don't know. A company run by former Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale. Let me move this over here. I'm so sorry. I know I always do this. So annoying. Okay. A company run by former Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale, hired by the Israeli government to push pro-Israel views on a major conservative media network, has directed $13 million from Israel to several Republican digital strategy firms and allies, according to a previously unreported document filed under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Oops. Farah. Parscale was hired in part to influence major right-wing Christian media company Salem Media Group. They needed convincing, where he is also an executive. How does that work? His firm spent hundreds of thousands on ads with a Salem subsidiary. As part of the contract, Parscale's firm also sent millions to other firms run by some of his closest political allies. The new filing sheds a light on a more detailed web of interconnected companies and political operatives capitalizing on Parscale's contract with the Israeli government. Many of the companies getting work as part of Parscale's Israel contract are being reported here for the first time. Among those that received millions of dollars worth of payments related to the contract are ventures like Sparkfire, an AI chatbot company leading a mass texting campaign, and a shadowy firm run by longtime mainstream Republican strategist Mike Shields. None of the figures or firms responded for comment. Israel initially directly hired Parscale's firm, Clock Tower X. Is it 10 or X? I don't even know. Last September, with a contract worth $6 million. The new filing reveals that his firm has received over $15 million from Havas Media Network, an international media company, on behalf of the Israeli state. You know, kids, all you have to do is be a drunk wife abuser and a Nazi, and you too can get millions of dollars from badass governments. And I don't mean badass in the good way. I mean badass. The document shows that Parscale directed over $500,000 for ads to Salem Media Representatives, a subsidiary of Salem Media. Although Parscale was hired to integrate pro-Israel messaging into Salem Media shows, which feature conservative commentators such as Hugh Hewitt, Larry Elder, and Scott Jennings. These payments to the conservative media conglomerate on behalf of Israel were not previously known. Parscale, who is the chief strategy officer for Salem Media, but did he FARA register? This is what I'm kind of confused by. Did he register as a FARA or did he not? Is that the problem? Oh, he did file it. Okay, I understand. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure I got this. Me. Israel. Parscale, who is the chief strategy officer for Salem Media, is not the only registered representative of Israel working for the media company. Why am I not shocked to hear that? One of Parscale's team members is working on the Israel contract. Ashley Evdokimo is Salem's vice president for communications. According to her LinkedIn profile, Evdokimo, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say that name, who works with Parscale at his digital strategy company Campaign Nucleus, took a position at Salem Media in September 2025, the same month that Parscale was hired to work for the Israeli government. A month later, Evdokimo registered as a foreign agent for Israel. And there it is. There's the FARA filing itself. Whoop, whoop. One of the largest recipients of the Israeli funds coming in through Parscale's contract is a firm called Portman Road Strategies, which is run by longtime GOP strategist Mike Shields, according to Virginia State Records. Shields firm received just under $5 million from Parscale as part of the contract in exchange for media placement, consulting, polling, and advertising work. Shields, a longtime Parscale ally, is also largely responsible for staffing the contract with the Israeli government. Of Parscale's 18 team members at Clock Tower X, 14 are staffers at Convergence Media, a campaign strategy, digital, public affairs, and media firm led by Shields. I think I've heard the name Mike Shields, but I don't know much about him. During the first Trump administration, Shields and Parscale operated as a package deal, consistently recommending each other's services as both became power brokers in Trump world. Parscale frequently convinced GOP campaigns, including that of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, to hire Shields' Convergence Media. The duo are now applying for their digital influence campaign playbook to Israel. According to his bio, Shields was also a CNN commentator, a former chief of staff for the Republican National Committee, and a strategist for former Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Remember him? Parscale directed another $6 million of the Israeli funds to Sparkfire Technologies, an AI chatbot company. Sparkfire's role was previously unknown, but it was related to a campaign of text messages that were first reported by Responsible Statecraft. Under the contract, Parscale's firm reaches out to Americans under the auspices of supposed peace organizations. Sparkfire's main service, called the Flywheel, uses AI to reach out to people with personalized messages. Then AI performs an analysis on the conversation, with Sparkfire storing the data and using it to target messages to the recipient. Wow, this is really gross. That sounds super gross. Can I just say? Yeah, rescind Citizens United. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Peace Love. How are you? Every busy today. I love that you're back. Aw, and I have someone to listen to. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Peace Love. You're so kind. Let's see. Flywheel. I want to see what these text messages look like. But bot text sent by Sparkfire can appear compassionate, understanding, and referential based on screenshots shared with the Intercept and Responsible Statecraft. Sparkfire claims that these types of conversations are highly effective. The company boasts its messaging had a 45% conversion rate. Holy shit! Suggesting almost half of the recipients were persuaded by the AI-powered conversation. While the scale of its text campaigns is unknown, Sparkfire says it can reach millions of people. That's scary! This is scary! Oh my God. Yeah, dishonesty pays in America, right, Griffey? Fuck, man. I did not learn that lesson, that's for sure. In text conversations with Americans about Israel, Sparkfire's bots frequently push links to pro-Israel websites and videos created by Parscale. One video posted by a YouTube channel called Allies for Peace, what an innocuous sounding name that is, claims that the narrative of suffering in Gaza was manufactured. I heard somebody talk about that last night. One of these fucking YouTubers was like, wow, man, she was just going in. She was saying all kinds of fucking propaganda shit and then acting like, I love when maggots are like, oh, this isn't, I don't fall for propaganda. I do my own research and I know exactly what's happening. And there's nothing happening in Gaza. That's Hamas. Hamas is killing everybody. Whatever, stupid bitch. Anyway, the pro-Israel websites and videos created for the initiative are also intended to influence artificial intelligence platforms like ChatGPT and fucking Brad Parscale. Okay, I thought you were just a drunk mess. You are now a danger to society. Who is going to come and get Brad? Okay? Who's coming for Brad? Because this dude needs to get the fuck out. I mean it. I can't believe this. Stupid. What? First of all, I don't believe the 45% conversion rate. I would like to see that data. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a huge conversion rate. Come on. Parscale's websites include a legal disclaimer that they were created on behalf of the Israeli government to identify the connection to paid pro-Israel advocacy. Users of ChatGPT and Claude would have to ask the chatbot for sources, click the links to Parscale's websites, and then scroll to the bottom of the pages to see that they are receiving information from a contractor for Israel. That just seems wrong. Okay, all of that seems illegal. First of all, if you're interacting with an AI chatbot, that should be disclosed. number one, you should be disclosed that you're talking to AI. That should be a law. Okay, number one. Number two, it should definitely be disclosed, especially if someone has already had to register for FARA, that the information that they're providing comes from a particular government. That is fucking something that should be disclosed. This is so fucking ridiculous to me. I mean, it's almost like we couldn't have nice things and a lot of stuff happened and we thought we still had some nice things. And now it feels like we're not going to have any nice things. Another company that appears to be involved with Parscale's Israel contract is Jackson Parker, whose Florida chapter was founded by Parscale and billionaire oil tycoon Tim Dunn in early 2025. The company shares an Ohio office with several other Parscale companies working on the Israel project. A recent job listing from Jackson Parker for a director of strategic communication says, quote, "We are a mission-driven organization focused on combating anti-Semitism and strengthening public understanding of Israel as America's closest ally in the Middle East." They dragged us into a war. Hello. One of the position's requirements, the listing says, is to maintain compliance with the Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA. Dunn, a major Trump donor, is an evangelical preacher. Of course he is. And a billionaire who has spent what did Christ say? It's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a needle before they can get into heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Jesus actually said pretty specifically that wasn't, you can't be that. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't know. That's what I read. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm an atheist. I have no idea. All right. Let's see. He's staunchly pro-Israel and chairs the Christian Advisory Board of the Israel Allies Foundation. He's waiting to be raptured. I mean, that's all he has. He's just waiting to be raptured. That's all. I mean, whatever. His money's on rapture. Okay. He's Dunn once told a Jewish Republican Texas House Speaker, however, that only Christians should hold leadership positions in the state house. Ooh. Dunn is also heavily involved in the recently announced purchase of Salem Media. Oh, interesting. Earlier this month, Waterstone, a Colorado-based nonprofit that already controlled a 49.5% voting interest in Salem Media, said it would acquire the remaining shares of the company at a 250% premium of its recent share price, taking the company private. Ooh. Hexagon Foundation, a nonprofit led by Dunn, is the largest institutional donor to Waterstone. Very interesting. Dunn's organization, which says its mission is to support Waterstone, gave $70 million to Salem's new owners in 2025. Well, Salem Media Group should register as a foreign agent, it sounds like, I think. On LinkedIn, an employee of another company called 3Tech, which received close to $500,000 from the Israel contract, wrote, "Come work with us," and then shared job listings from Jackson Parker. 3Tech, a software development company founded in 2024, is connected to a constellation of interwoven firms run by Parscale in Ohio and Texas that have been paid with Israeli government money. 3Tech is listed as a certified partner of a marketing firm that shares Clock Tower X's Medina, Ohio address, along with another Parscale company receiving Israeli money as part of this deal, AI company iceberg, I guess. According to the CEO's LinkedIn, 3Tech uses a team of 80 Serbian engineers. This is why Tina has this, because it's Serbia. All right. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. Parscale's work with the help of subcontractors is part of a broader strategy by the Israeli government to win back support from young conservatives and evangelicals. 57% of Republicans aged 18 to 49 have an unfavorable opinion of Israel, according to a Pew poll from March. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's government has ramped up spending on influence operations. Earlier this year, Israel more than quadrupled its public diplomacy budget from $150 million in 2025 to $730 million in 2026. Hey, man, it's hard. It's hard to defend yourself against the International Criminal Court. Okay, camel with beautiful eyelashes. Oh, that's right. It's a camel passing through a needle. I don't even know. Yeah. Putin says Trump. Wait, what would I miss? I gotta catch up with chat. Hold on. Let me catch up with chat. Yeah. I gotta smoke some weed too. We're Serbia, so we can disturb ya. Yeah, Serbia. I don't know. Does anything? I mean, Serbia is a beautiful country, but I don't. They seem to be really involved in just the weirdest shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, diplomacy. Yeah, exactly. This is diplomacy. This is diplomacy on drugs. Any questions? No. Yeah, wow, I don't know. I mean, I don't got it. I don't got it. All right, let me check on some other things. Well, actually, I think I want to smoke some weed first. What was I going to say? Wait, there was another story I was thinking about. Let me see if I have the story in here. Oh, I'll be seeing you in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you this way. I'll find you in the morning. Oh, I've got a few things. Okay. Let's go ahead. Whoops. Okay. Is this from, this might be, no, I think I just found this on Blue Sky. I don't think this came from anyone in particular. But really, Teresa and Tina, you keep me in such amazing articles and I mean, everyone, you're just incredible. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I can't tell you, have I told you lately just how much I love you? Yeah. Yeah, I love you. I'll be looking at the internet, but I'll be seeing you. There is a camel involved, yes. There's always a camel. I don't know. Go figure. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Well, actually, I need to smoke a little bit. What am I doing? Why am I rushing? Why am I rushing? So tonight is trivia. Okay. And tomorrow, I haven't checked to see if GP was able to answer my question about movies tomorrow night. But I think what we've settled on for movies, I could be wrong, is Life of Brian first, and then Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, her movie, not her show. I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I just have to make sure that GP can access both those. I'm pretty sure they're free in a lot of different apps. So is Gorka involved? No, Gorka is Hungarian. He's not Serbian, although he might. I mean, you know, that whole area is kind of like fucked by Hungary in some ways. And Serbia. Why 80? Well, I mean, I guess if you have just one group of engineers, I don't know. I guess you could have like 80 people in a country. Maybe Serbia's really good engineers. I have no idea. I shouldn't judge. Speaking of Serbia, no. Speaking of judging, Russia signs military partnership with what? The Taliban. Whoop. Uh-oh. The exact details of the deal, which signal a deepening of ties between Moscow and Kabul, remain unclear. And this is Politico from, I think it's from yesterday. No. Yeah, the 28th. Is today the 29th? What is today? What is today? Oh, yeah, it is the 29th. Okay. Russia and Afghanistan signed a military cooperation agreement on Wednesday, just 1 year after the Kremlin removed the Taliban from a list of banned terrorist groups. Oh, they have a list of accepted terrorist groups? What? That's funny. I mean, not really, but the new agreement underscores the deepening ties between the Kremlin and the Taliban. And while the exact details remain murky, Afghan Defense Minister Mohammad Yaqub said the agreement marked an expansion of the bilateral relations between the two countries. Interaction with Russia is important for us, Yaqub said following a meeting with Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu at the International Security Forum in Moscow. Afghanistan and Russia have long-standing and historic relations, and we want to move forward in this direction. Great job, everybody. Great job. Good job. Great job, Mike Pompous ass. Doha agreement. The pull-out method. Whatever. Wait, my thing went out. The Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979 and spent the next decade fighting a bloody war against the Mujahideen Islamic guerrilla fighters resisting the occupation, many of whom would later found the Taliban. In the years after Soviet troops withdrew, relations between Moscow and Kabul remained tense. However, following the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan, Russia was accused of supplying arms to the Taliban as the group moved to consolidate its control over the country. On Wednesday, Shoigu called for Western countries to unfreeze sanctions on the Taliban and fully acknowledge their responsibility for the 20-year presence in Afghanistan. I mean, that's fine. In April 2025, Russia removed the Taliban from its list of banned terrorist groups, a designation that had been in place since 2003. Then, in July of the same year, it became the first and only country to formally recognize the Taliban as the government of Afghanistan. Earlier this month, the European Commission confirmed that it had invited Taliban officials to Brussels, although a spokesperson said that the invitation does not by any means constitute a recognition. That's interesting. I'd like to hear more about that. I think that kind of makes, some, here's the thing. If we really focused on like relationships with people instead of like just bombing each other all the time, I'm not saying that the Taliban is, whatever, because frankly, I don't like how they treat women and all that bullshit. And the fucking religious zealots are like, I'm done with all that shit. But really, let's see where this is. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, I should have opened that. Okay, that's fine. This one. Little WAPO, a little up with Trump, who he's having her investigated. Yeah, and he's using the fact that she got help with her legal bills from someone like Reid Hoffman, whatever, through some kind of organization, which we'll read a little bit here. But this is the witch hunt, the current witch hunt. James Comey failed, Letitia James failed. Let's see, who else? I don't know if Brennan's failing. That might be happening in Florida. I'm not really sure. We should probably check on that. Talk about weaponization. Oh my God. All right. The DOJ probes Democratic allied nonprofit that helped pay E. Jean Carroll's legal bills. The investigation centers on statements Carroll made during a deposition in her civil lawsuit against President Trump, in which a jury found that he had sexually assaulted and defamed her. And in fact, I think they updated that to an actual rape conviction. I would have to check my sources, but I believe that's what happened. This is yesterday. There she is. Hang in there, girlfriend. Fuck, man. I fucking hate men. All right. I don't really hate men. I just hate some men. I'm sorry. And I hate some women too. Oh, E. Jean's book is terrible. I didn't read it. The Justice Department has launched a criminal probe into a Chicago-based nonprofit backed by billionaire Reid Hoffman over its payment of legal bills of E. Jean Carroll, the advice columnist who accused President Trump of sexual assault, according to two people familiar with the matter. The investigation, which is expected to look at statements Carroll made during a deposition, could also morph into a criminal perjury probe against the 82-year-old columnist, said the people familiar with the matter, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing probe. The nascent investigation follows years of Trump publicly deriding Carroll, his accuser, and Hoffman, a major Democratic Party donor, CEO of a company, and he's more than just a Democrat. One fucking minute. Didn't fucking Hoffman donate to a Republican as well as what? Didn't he do both one time? Am I forgetting that? Is that my I'm sorry, I'm missing chat. I apologize. A representative for Hoffman, a co-founder of LinkedIn, declined to comment, and Netflix. An attorney for Carroll could not immediately be reached for comment. The investigation stems from Carroll's civil lawsuit against Trump, in which a jury found that Trump had sexually assaulted and defamed her, delivering her a $5 million verdict. Carroll also won a second defamation trial against Trump, with the jury awarding her $83.3 million civil judgment. Ha ha. Dump, who denies the allegations, has so far been unsuccessful in his appeals of the verdicts. That's right, because it goes through fucking due process, bitch. In a 2022 deposition, Carol testified that outside funders were not helping her to bring a lawsuit. It later became public that Hoffman's nonprofit American Future Republic had paid some of her legal bills. The investigation is centered on this statement and whether American Future Republic, which largely gives grants to left-leaning causes, could have directed Carol to lie during that deposition, according to the people familiar with the probe. The investigation is examining potential money laundering, conspiracy, and obstruction charges. Okay, I think they're over their skis a little bit on this, but that's okay. I hope the justice system doesn't buy it. Any conspiracy, and actually, what did Mueller, she wrote yesterday? There is not a grand jury in this country that will bring charges against E. Jean Carroll. I don't know if that's true or not, but I hope it is. The Justice Department declined to comment, saying it does not discuss ongoing investigations. Silly fool. The probe, yeah, we're going to read about Dell too. The probe, which is based in Chicago, marks the Justice Department's latest attempt to wield its powers to investigate and embroil Dump's foes in potentially costly legal investigations. I mean, E. Jean Carroll does not have that much money. She's not a rich person now. I mean, I don't even think she's gotten, I don't know if she got the 83 or not, right? Like, I'm not sure. Yeah, he doesn't want to pay. He doesn't want to pay. Some investigations into these adversaries have done little more than garner headlines, with the efforts gaining little legal momentum within the Justice Department and the FBI. Others, including cases against former FBI Director James Comey, have resulted in indictments. One case against him was dismissed after a judge determined that the U.S. attorney who brought the case was unlawfully appointed. A second indictment is also expected to face significant legal hurdles. Yeah, like shells on a beach is not a threat. CNN first reported on the investigation tied to Carroll's case. The investigation became public on the same day that the Supreme Court again postponed deciding whether it would take up Trump's appeal of the $5 million verdict. Trump's personal defense attorneys have previously brought up Carroll's statement during the deposition and how the trial judge handled the evidence around the payment of her legal fees as a potential reason to overturn the verdict. I'm not sure that's how that works. I think if she lied about something substantive within the case, they could use that as a way to overturn it, but it doesn't feel like you can overturn something based on whether or not she was getting help on her legal fees. And I know they want to prove that she lied under oath, but I'm having a feeling that she probably didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the timing? Was the timing that the money was promised to her before the testimony or after? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's some timing here that needs to be laid out. But a panel of federal appeals judges ruled in 2024 that it was plausible that she had simply forgotten about the funding when she testified and had not intended to mislead the defense. According to court records, Carroll's legal team said they would be paid on contingency, meaning her attorneys would only get paid if and when she prevailed before a jury or reached a monetary settlement. In 2020, her defense team informed her that they had secured outside. Oh, okay. So it was 2020, and then she said that in 2022. So it was 2 years. Her defense team informed her that they had secured outside funding for some legal fees, according to the court records. Carroll said that she did not speak with her counsel again about this until 2023, and that when she testified in 2022, she had forgotten about it, according to court records. I mean, I could actually believe that. There was no evidence to suggest that Ms. Carroll was personally involved in securing the funding, interacted with the funder, received an invoice showing the arrangement before or after her counsel received the outside funding, or had discussed the arrangement with anyone between learning of it in September 2020 and being deposed in October 2022, the panel of appeals court judges found. Well, I think that's pretty much settles it then, Turd Blanche, now the acting attorney general and Trump's former attorney, lost this case, actually. This is one he lost. It was part of Trump's legal team that brought the appeal of the Carroll verdict. He is recused from the investigation into the nonprofit. Oh, sure. Yeah, sure he is. Oh, I'm sure he's really staying right away from that, according to one of the people familiar with the matter. In May 2023, jurors determined that Carol had sufficiently proved she was sexually abused in a dressing room at the Bergdorf Goodman department store in Manhattan in the mid-1990s after a chance encounter with Trump. The jury also found that Trump defamed Carol years later on in social media after she publicly accused him of rape. Trump's public disdain for Carol started soon after she publicly alleged in a 2019 magazine excerpt from her memoir that he had sexually assaulted her decades earlier. Dump, who was president at the time of the accusation, called her a liar, claimed she was a complete stranger to him, and suggested he could not have assaulted her because he found her unattractive. Jurors in a civil case concluded that Trump had defamed Carol and owed her more than $83 million. Did she ever get that money? It doesn't say. I wonder if she ever got that money. I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, let's see. Yeah. I should check in with chat. I'm sorry. I just keep running. Let's say the legal fees argument. Yeah, let's save that legal fees argument for eventual slush fund discussion. There you go. And let's talk about lying under oath, okay? Because Kash Patel has lied under oath. Pam Bondi has lied under oath. Tulsi Gabbard lied under oath. You know what I mean? Like, he should have done that DNA test. Yeah, easiest way to prove she was lying. But she didn't. She didn't lie. She didn't lie. I've been to Bergdorf Goodman in the 90s. I didn't have any experience like that in the dressing room, but I did love that. That was a great department store. I will say that. It's one of my favorite department stores. Doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, maybe that was Bonwit Teller. Anyway, must be fun going against a regime that's stolen the whole government and all of its agencies. My Lord, the courage it takes. Let me tell you, Griffey, I really thought about this, and I made a post about this because, one of my life experiences was being in a very abusive relationship, a physically abusive relationship, an emotionally abusive relationship for about 3 years. And I know this sounds really trite, and I don't mean it to, but when I was in that relationship, a movie came on, and it was fucking Julia Roberts sleeping with the enemy, which is kind of a cringy movie, but I just remember that was a story of a woman who had a very abusive husband, and she faked her own death to escape him and all this kind of stuff because he was very wealthy and blah, blah, blah. And so she ends up going to this like little town, changing her name and trying to just, blend into the community. And I just remember I watched that movie a lot because even though the story wasn't similar, actually I guess he did have money, but it wasn't the same thing. And, you were just always afraid. Like, my ex, was a gangster. I mean, he was like he was mobbed up. And so I was afraid. That if he wanted to, he could do something if he got angry enough. And so I remember that fear. And I just very visceral. And so I think about E. Jean, and I think about what it would be like to not only face the threat from the accuser or his fans, if you will, because his fans can also get really rabid. But now to have the entire government coming after you after you've proven your case in court, like that's so immoral. That's so immoral. And I just can't, sleeping with the enemy. I can't fathom how that it brought me all the way back to like 1997, when I was in the midst of this relationship. And I remember that fear, and that even when you leave, you're afraid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if everybody has experienced that in some way, but you're just afraid all the time, and they can find you. So I don't know. This story really cuts me because I just think of the fear. that she could be feeling. And so, anyway, I just hope that everything gets resolved very quickly and she can move on and live in peace, because this is like entirely too much. Yeah. So that's Todd Blanche. Turd Blanche. You know, he's another one, man. He needs to he's going to end up, I don't know where. I don't know. Somewhere. Do 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 do. I think this is I don't know if this is a Tina story or if it's a Teresa story. I don't know. Or maybe it just came up on my Blue Sky. But I this headline really got me. I'm sorry. I think I was in a Bergdorf Goodman once. Was in the one that was like a collection of discreet boutiques. Oh, yeah. Was that in Texas, Teresa? I don't know. I feel like I went to the one in Trump Tower when it was open, which is what the one that they're talking about. It was a beautiful little store. Oh my God. It was very nice. Very nice. Very nice department store. Not as unwelcoming as like a, like a whatever. What's that other one? Barney's. Barney's was like intimidating. But Bergdorf wasn't. I don't know why. I think it was like a bunch of old ladies. That's why. Okay. The Trump administration, because you need to know this. How many troy ounces is that? Hey, they could just get the guy with the gold bars to melt them down, but done. The Trump administration, get this, kids, is spending $5 million to coat horse statues in gold, because that's important. Healthcare? Nah. Food stamps? No. Oh my God. No, let's coat the horses in gold. The Interior Department quickly gave $100 million in contracts to Russia to beautify DC. I'm going to tell you right now, Doug Burgum is a danger to humanity as well. Doug Burgum, I think of Doug Burgum and Lee Zeldin as like a little salt and pepper shaker. You know what I mean? Like a little salt and pepper shaker set of mayhem and horrible things. I can't tell you how much. Well, actually, okay, we got to throw Chris Wright in there too. So now what do? I can't do a salt and pepper shaker. I got to do something else. But anyway, Manny Moe and Jack. Like, I don't know. They're just the worst, okay? The Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, the worst. I hate them. I know. I'm sick of the gold. I am so sick of the gold. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't usually either, but I did go to that one. Okay, 4 bronze horses surrounding the Lincoln Memorial are getting a glow up for America's 250. I'm going to tell you right now, does anyone else, I mean, I know you all feel this way. I think I would be shocked if you didn't. But basically, I am so not excited about any anniversary of this country. I am so depressed that at 250 years, we have, the worst version of a hee-haw government. And I mean, hee-haw show was good, but this one is like whatever a bad version of hee-haw was, that's what we're at. I mean, I think it's just Nazism. So, there's that. But anyway. All right, quickly, 4 massive bronze horses positioned along the road surrounding the Lincoln Memorial still shine in the sun from their first restoration in the 1970s, but their gold-toned coating is faded and patchy, and their heavy stone bases are cracked and dirty. The Trump administration wants them glittering with a fresh coat of gold in time for America's 250th on July 4th. So in mid-April, the National Park Service handed a $5 million contract to a gilding studio in Maryland to repair the statues and cover them with a thick layer of 23.75 karat gold leaf, bitches. It awarded the project without full competition. Okay, listen. Oh my God. Okay, listen. Listen, this is the issue. This is the fucking issue. When you work with the federal government, with your state government, with your city government, with your county government, when you work in education, public education, when you receive public dollars, I think that's the way they've put it. When you receive public dollars, there is a very specific bid process because you hold the interest of the public dollars. That's a responsibility. Like as an executive director of a nonprofit for a school where I received public money, if I did anything if I wanted to bring in anything over a certain dollar amount, I would have to get 3 bids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very specific process, not so bad, totally fine. You did what you needed to do, blah, 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 and let the chips fall where they may. Well, this is now the second fucking contract that I've heard of this government doing with no competition. And those are just the 2 that we know about. Okay? Like this to me is an iceberg. That there is an iceberg and we're only seeing the tippy top. Right? So, I don't know. I'm so tired of the media like ignoring some of the repetitive, corruptive blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. As Trump hurries to put his stamp on a city he's long denigrated as crumbling and ugly, his administration has doled out tens of millions of dollars for contracts with short timelines and little oversight. I mean, but here we go. In total, the Interior Department is spending at least $95 million in taxpayer funds for new DC beautification projects, according to a Notice review of government spending data. All of the projects identified by Notice were initiated between December 2025 and April of this year. About $20 million in contracts, including the gilding of the 4 horses, have not previously been reported. It's within the realm of reason to say it's the 250th anniversary that's coming up. Instead of spending $100 million we normally spend on the District of Columbia, we want to spend $250 million. That's perfectly normal. What? Said one former General Services Administration official, making up dollar amounts to illustrate their point. What is not normal is the lack of transparency. In mid-April, the National Park Service hired the Gilders Studio in Maryland to restore the 80,000-pound statue pairs known as the Arts of War and the Arts of Peace. According to agency documentation, the gilding company is covering the statues in an unusually thick layer of nearly pure gold, heavier and purer than even the extra thick gold the same studio used to refinish the exterior of the Wyoming State Capitol dome 7 years ago. The $5 million contract includes more work than just the gold leafing, although the gold itself is certain to be a significant part of the cost, with the price of gold essentially doubling over the last several years. Yup. The Park Service did not do extensive market research on whether the $5 million price was a fair one, according to agency documents reviewed by Notice. Due to the urgent nature of this requirement, market research was limited to available historical data and publicizing a special notice to sam.gov. The agency wrote in its award notice in April. The special notice was posted online for only 6 days. Wow, they're really fucking trying to get away with shit. And again, I think this is the iceberg. I don't even want to know what, I mean, I do, but historical data is minimal, as these types of projects are rare for National Park Service. There are no comparable gilding projects of this monumental size, national significance, public visibility, or technical complexity in the Washington, D.C. area, the agency wrote in its award document. The Gilders Studio declined to comment. Other experts on gilding told Notice the studio is well known and respected for its work, but not uniquely qualified over other companies. There are others that are also qualified that were not contacted, which I'm rather surprised about because there's plenty of people that could also do the same quality work, said Peter Sepp, who runs a major gold leaf supplier in New York. The National Park Service. Oh, wait, that's not. What? Get it? What? Okay, maybe later. All right. My God. Several other contracting companies declined to comment, citing instructions from the NPS not to speak with the media. Oh, that's so transparent. Multiple gilding experts declined to be named for fear of jeopardizing future relationships with the Park Service. The Interior Department justified how the contract was awarded in an April document. Quote, considering the Gilder Studio Inc.'s unique combination of specialized experience and capability to complete a project with extraordinary national significance and an immovable deadline, demonstrates that it is the only source capable of performing this requirement, the Interior Department wrote. Trust us. I don't even know. Most of the $95 million being spent on DC beautification is being directed toward restoring fountains and making changes to DC's parks. In addition to the $5 million for the gilding project, NPS is spending $3.6 to rehabilitate Logan Circle and more than $5 million to repave the marble around the Simon Bolivar statue a couple of blocks off the National Mall. Sorry, Mr. Bolivar. Many of the projects have ended up costing more than originally planned. At Meridian Hill Park, $4 million was spent to renew the grass and trees across the park, in addition to $11.3 million to restore the fountains that tumbled down the park's lower half. The renovations to Meridian Hill Park alone cost $800,000 more than the price quoted in the original contracts. The Freedom Plaza beautification project, originally priced at around $9 million, jumped by around $500,000 in costs in April. A month later, a dozen new statues were installed in a rectangular shape around the edges of the park, resembling pieces of a chessboard. Oh, wow. Freedom Plaza. Where's that? I don't know where that is. Many of the contracts were awarded without a full and open competition, according to the government contracting database. Instead, the Dump administration applied laws that allow contracts to be awarded to minority-owned, women-owned, or small businesses without the full rigor of an open competition. In one case, a company that primarily does trash collection, debris removal, and HVAC repairs for the federal government landed 3 contracts for fountain repairs and marble repaving, worth a total of about $6.5 million that will be paid within a single year. Before this year, Mangiri Contracting had never received a contract from the federal government worth more than $1 million. Mangiri is now responsible for removing and replacing the marble paving at Simon Bolivar Park. The company will also work on pavers at MLK Jr. Memorial, as well as repair the fountains at the John Paul Jones Memorial and the National Mall and the Taras Shevchenko Memorial near DuPont Circle. Mangiri did not respond. Dump is fulfilling his commitment to make DC safe and beautiful, as shown by record low crime rates and renovations to fountains and parks across the Capitol. Hey, whatever happened to the fact that Cash had padded his numbers? Anybody follow up on reporting from that? I guess that's okay too. You can just lie. Dems could be marching across that deflection pool. The deflection pool. That's so good. Oh my God, Griffey. With past presidents, and that's a really good one. Let me see, where am I? Okay. In the case of the 4 bronze horses, NPS specifically cited its desire to have the project done by July 4th as a reason to award the contract without competition. When the Park Service published its brief notice of the project in April, it said that any company wanting to submit a counteroffer had to be able to finish in less than 4 months. In accordance with EO 14189, celebrating America's 250th, the NPS must have this work completed by July 4th to support DOI's role in the national commemoration. Blar, blar, blar. The Arts of War statues are being regilded ahead of our nation's 250. This is the first time in 50 years these statues have been regilded, an interior spokesperson said in response to a list of questions. The statues have been slowly corroding and falling apart since they were first installed in 1951, plagued by problems that began during their construction. One local expert familiar with the statues told Notice the Park Service made extensive repairs in the 70s, but those did not fully address the underlying issues. Over the last several decades, several restoration experts have prepared reports for the Interior Department about corrosion and discoloration and about damage to their granite bases. The Park Service notice said that the bronze horses need cleaning, stabilization, and repairs. The statues sit on massive granite plinths, which also require repairs and stabilization. It's not clear whether it's possible to fix these long-standing issues in a highly compressed time frame, one local expert said. We do know that anytime you rush something, there are always problems. Only time will tell, you know. If the horses take off and start galloping, you know we're in trouble. Right? We're in trouble. All right, I got to drink some coffee and smoke some weed. Yeah, The World Beneath, great podcast. Wait, what is it? What is this? Dems could be marching across that deflection pole together with past presidents and leaders make so much noise in unison they would have to cover it. That's kind of interesting. Oh, are you making dough? What are you making, Tom? Are you making bread? Are you making like pizza dough? What kind of dough? Yum. I know. The fool's gold. That's so right, Griffey. God, man. I don't know. Statues. This world is nuts. Let's see what else. Let me see what else I had because I think I had a couple other. I mean, there's always so much. I could go on and on. Wake and bake. Wake and bake. Oh, I want to talk. I want to read this. Do I want to read this? Yeah, I think I do. Okay. Yeah. All right. Meat. Okay, get ready. I'm going to scare you. I don't mean to scare you, but just hold on. Okay. It's going to be scary. Just hang in there. Ah! I'm Howard NUTLICKER. Oh, wait. I'm looking at. I'm trying to look at Howard like he's an idiot. Pyrite is a sulfur compound. The fool's gold. Yeah, exactly. That fool's gold. 100%. It's like a Nazi's gold. No, I don't even know. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. I've been doing a little bit of a deep dive too on Howard NUTLICKER. I found his deposition from the Epstein testimony that he gave. I didn't realize they had released that transcript. So I won't make you sit through that, but there are some parts that are interesting. But I did want to read this because I read it last night and I found it extraordinarily interesting. Not that we needed more insight into Howard NUTLICKER, but this does give you a little more of an idea of how fucking ridiculous he is. Da 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 da. Let's take a little sip of coffee. Yeah. All right. This is from, I think it's from yesterday. Yeah. This one's a long one. So settle in. Bare knuckle tactics and brash promises. How Howard NUTLICKER operates. Before becoming U.S. Commerce Secretary, Mr. Lutnick controlled 818 companies. A review of their dealing sheds light on his freewheeling first year in government. This is great. This one got me right away. When auto executives learned last year that President Trump's punishing tariffs on foreign car parts were set to cost their companies billions of dollars, they were rattled. Eager to lessen the blow, they began calling and visiting Commerce Secretary Howard NUTLICKER in his spacious wood-paneled office near the White House, where they negotiated, complained, and cajoled in talks that stretched on for months. Then, in October, there came a breakthrough. Mr. Lutnick and his aides informed the automakers that the administration would offer a credit on the auto part tariffs for American-made cars, retroactive to when the levies began in May 2025, according to 6 industry executives who spoke on the condition of anonymity. What happened next would leave them flabbergasted, with billions of dollars fewer than they had anticipated, and would drive home the sense that NUTLICKER, a 64-year-old billionaire, was a commerce secretary unlike any in recent memory. In a freewheeling first year in office, Mr. Nutlick and one of President Dump's most influential deputies has used the power of the federal government in unorthodox and aggressive ways. Some of his tactics have been creative, others were blunt force. Still others were downright outlandish. All of them were honed during decades at the helm of Wall Street investment firm Cantor Fitzgerald, a period in which he amassed wealth and prominence and assumed leadership positions at a dizzying array of corporate entities, at least 818 in all. Yeah, she isn't interesting enough for me to be on the headline. Okay, now, as Mr. Nutlicker presides over a broad and important agenda from planning the 2030 census to regulating technology flows to rivals like China, a close examination of those companies' dealings offers lessons of how he has operated as Commerce Secretary. Drawing on dozens of interviews and thousands of pages of records related to Mr. Lutnick's career, the review shows him to be an intuitive dealmaker with an appetite for risk and a willingness to walk up to ethical lines. Is that what we're calling it now? Walking up to them? Okay. It also reveals that he has acted as steward of firms that have paid more than $50 million in penalties for, get this, money laundering, misleading disclosures, and other offenses. Oops. By turns charming and caustic, Mr. Nutlick has, as Commerce Secretary, has kept negotiating partners off balance, pressuring foreign countries and American companies alike into making concessions while pushing legal boundaries in seeking new revenue for the government. And by government, I mean them. A Commerce Department spokesman said Nutlick has delivered important wins for the American people, including bringing manufacturing back to the American soil. Did he? I don't see it. And securing investment commitments from Japan. Oh, but let's talk about those. But his approach has sown uncertainty for the automakers and others, leaving officials at home and abroad to ask, what are these tactics all about and where did they come from? At Cantor, Mr. Lutnick came of age in the rough and tumble world of voice trading treasury brokers, brash men shouting prices on trading floors, said Rupak Gose, who worked at a competing financial firm. There he is. There's Nutlicker way back when. Howard was a hustler, an opportunist, and someone who is willing to push the boundaries, said Mr. Gose, who now writes and advises on financial technology. He's an entrepreneur who will find a way to make some money somewhere, right? In an early example of his bare-knuckle tactics, Mr. Lutnick took control of his firm from its ailing co-founder, B. Gerald Cantor, while still in his 30s, a move that an advisor to Mr. Cantor's wife described as a palace coup. Okay, Howard showed us who he was a long time ago. In the following years, Mr. Lutnick would lead Cantor through September 11, 2001, despite losing his younger brother and more than 600 other employees at the firm's offices in the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center, and on to enormous success, earning a reputation as a creative thinker with a penchant for pushing boundaries in pursuit of profit. Along the way, many of his more than 800 corporate entities would explore new opportunities for Cantor, while others held valuable assets, including a 1950s Jaguar and at least 5 luxury homes. Some of Cantor ventures, like real estate and cryptocurrency, took off. Others, like a foray into the gambling business and an advertising-related investment alongside sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, did not. That's right. When Howard was at Cantor Fitzgerald, he worked with Jeffrey Epstein to try and launch a marketing campaign or a marketing company called AdFin. That's right. Oops. Did you forget about that, Howard? In another case, a jury awarded an inventor, Ross Slilfer, $400,000 over a patent for a video game controller after finding that a Cantor affiliate had violated its agreement to buy and license it. Cantor had agreed to generate a set amount of licensing fees and then buy him out or return the patent if it did not, he said in court filings. Cantor decided that it wanted to create a third option, keep the patent and not pay me, Mr. Sliffer wrote in a 2018 LinkedIn post. He said in an interview that he never dealt with Mr. Lutnick personally. In separate litigation, a trustee for New York financial broker Refco Group Limited said his firm had invested $8 million in Cantor Gambling Ventures through one of its affiliates, but saw its investment decimated after Cantor transferred the affiliate's assets to other companies. Some of Refco's claims were dismissed, and the parties settled in 2019 for undisclosed terms. The trustees declined to comment. Mr. Lutnick has also battled over money in his private life. He withheld about $500,000 in co-op maintenance on his penthouse at the Pierre overlooking Central Park after his unit was damaged in a storm. A representative said he had done so on advice from his insurer. Mr. Lutnick eventually paid what he owed. That's the lobby of the building. Stop. No more rich people. At his 40-acre estate in Bridgehampton on Long Island, with its orchard, mini golf course, and a copy of the love sculpture on a lawn, Mr. Lutnick did not pay the final $1 million that Ray's contracting a construction company builds for work on the property, according to a 2024 lien filing. The party said they were still negotiating. Mr. Nutlick's crappy style and vision endeared him to Mr. Dump, who also invested in real estate and gambling, paid fines to regulators, and indulged in over-the-top luxury while haggling over bills. Well, they're two birds of a feather then. Where am I? Both men have also formed connections with cryptocurrency operators who have been accused of wrongdoing. Oops. Mr. Lutnick's ascent in the administration was as contentious as his rise in business has been. He jockeyed with Scott Bessent for Treasury Secretary, but lost out. Although he divested his business interests in September, his past disputes trailed him until he took office. And his sons run his company, okay? His sons run his company. He's just Trump. He's Trump in a smaller version. After an air conditioning hose snapped and caused flooding at one of his properties, a 25th floor condo at the St. Regis Ball Harbor in Miami, Jesus Christ, Mr. Nutlick collected nearly $12 million in an insurance payment, but ignored the building's request to reimburse it for more than $145,000 in damage to common areas and elevators. At one point, Nutlick attempted to make a deal. He'd pay for the damage if he was allowed to combine two vestibules outside his apartment into one. According to private emails reviewed by the NYT, that deal was rejected. The emails show he still hadn't paid by the time he was confirmed as Commerce Secretary early last year. The parties settled in November for an undisclosed sum. Mr. Lutnick, representative, said eventually he got permission to combine the vestibules. Oh, interesting how that happened. People who have worked closely with Nutlick in government describe him as a shrewd negotiator who eyes every contact for signs he could be ripped off. But his insistence on such personal scrutiny has led to bottlenecks. His employees complain that some of the department's functions have slowed to a crawl. As the face of Mr. Dump's tariffs on cars and steel, Mr. Nutlick has used his brash style to pressure companies in foreign countries. But the company executives and foreign officials have found him erratic, saying his aggressive style has made for rocky relations. His harsh remarks about Europe, delivered in front of the King and Queen of Belgium and other leaders, offended the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland in January, prompting her to walk out of a dinner. I thought that was just too much and just unnecessarily offensive. That's Christine. She said later in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, I don't think it was either polite nor appropriate. Full stop. More recently, he riled Canadian government officials during trade negotiations by saying publicly that, quote, they suck. In July, Japanese officials emerged from talks with Mr. Lutnick, believing they had a deal to cap their tariffs at 15%. But when the Dump administration announced its new rates later that month, some products, like Japanese beef, had tariffs above 40%. Oops, I guess Howard lied to you. The outcome prompted a backlash in Japan, and the Dump administration ultimately walked back the higher tariffs and refunded some of the money to Japanese firms. Analysts have also questioned the big dollar investments that Mr. Nutlick has claimed as part of a trade and investment deal with Japan. Japanese companies have promised to invest significantly more in the United States in energy and manufacturing projects, but the administration has sometimes boasted of investments companies would have made anyway. During Mr. Dump's visit to Tokyo in October, Japanese executives listened as a smiling Mr. Nutlick told the president they had almost reached a $550 billion commitment. But some of the investments announced that day were ideas that Japan was broadly interested in, not concrete plans. And some senior Japanese executives said they first learned of the details of their purported commitments that evening. Kurt Tong, former U.S. diplomat in Japan and managing partner of the Asia Group, said the idea of Japan investing $550 billion over the next 3 years was aspirational, noting that since 1980, 46 years, Japan's total investment in the United States was $754 billion. Mr. Nutlick has applied similar pressure on companies. This one is important. To help promote their business. He forced recipients of funding from the CHIPS program, $39 billion that Congress allocated for building computer chip factories, to renegotiate contracts already signed under the Biden administration. He halted payments to companies as he pushed them to agree to what he said were better terms, like investing more in the United States, or in the case of Intel, giving the government some of its stock. Chip companies like Micron and TSMC have pledged hundreds of billions of dollars in new investment to Mr. Lutnick, numbers tallied by his department show. But 4 tech industry executives said they had counseled their colleagues against future meetings with the Commerce Department for fear that Mr. Nutlick would exhort them to give the government equity in their companies or make other concessions. Mr. Nutlick has also channeled chip funding allocated by Congress into what he has called the United States Investment Accelerator, an office staffed by former Wall Street executives that operates as a sort of strategic investment fund. Where is that money? Where is that money? What the fuck is an investment accelerator in the government? What the fuck? This is ridiculous. Oh, Louisiana approves map eliminating a majority black district. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Okay. Let's keep going. I mean, this is now I want to find out what this is. Hold on. I need to figure out what this is. In some cases, the investments have generated concerns about conflicts of interest. No, really? Last year, the Commerce Department took a stake in a minerals company that had also attracted investment by a firm run in part by the president's son, Donald Trump Jr. I don't know. I mean, am I the drama? Am I the drama? It also did a $1.6 billion deal with rare earth minerals company that simultaneously raised money through Cantor. Mr. Lutnick's former firm, which his sons now run. Oh no, they run it. The companies and administration have denied any favoritism. As in the private sector, Mr. Nutlick has also looked to generate income in unorthodox ways and not always successfully. In December, he joined the president at the White House to kick off the Trump Gold Card, which would expedite immigration applications for foreign citizens who pay $1 million. Why should we take people who are below average? He said on CNBC. Jesus Christ. I don't know. What the fuck? Okay, what a dick. Mr. Nutlick said at a hearing on April 23rd that just one applicant had been approved. So it's going really well. In other words, it's going really well. Mr. Nutlick, a former inventor who filed for hundreds of patents during his business career, also took a keen interest in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, which, falls under his department. Shocker. He drew criticism for a proposal to take a cut of profits that academic institute. I forgot about this one. He drew criticism for a proposal to take cut of profits from academic institutions earned on patents that emerge from federal grants. You know what we get? Zero. Listen to this. Mr. Nutlick told Axios, I think if we fund it and they invent a patent, the United States of America taxpayer should get half the benefit. half the benefit. So if you invented Post-its and you just want to help your little family, he's going to take half of it. At an April hearing, senators also expressed concern that Mr. Nutlick could use funding that Congress had appropriated to establish a nationwide broadband system for other purposes. Yeah, we watched that. And he bamboozled them and said, no, it's going to be fine. No, everybody's going to get broadband. We're just doing it in a different way, and we're not going to do it. Oops. The Commerce Department overhauled previous plans for the broadband program and directed more business to Starlink. Elon's company, who worked closely with Nutlick last year when Musk oversaw Doggy. A Commerce Department official said that the department had used a tech-neutral approach to deploy the money with the best mix of technology and saved U.S. taxpayers more than $20 billion for the exact same outcome. I can't wait. I'd love to see the data on that. Nutlick has also maintained a close relationship with the president, meeting up for ice cream and talking late night on the phone. Hey girl. Hey, girl. Hey. I don't think he likes me. Ice cream. Did he also go to Epstein's Island and credibly rape children? Oh, I'm just wondering. I don't know. But some of his disruptive maneuvers have caused friction with other cabinet officials, and the president has expressed frustration with actions by the Commerce Secretary that have benefited Nutlick's family. In a statement, White House spokesman Kush Desai said Mr. Lutnick has played an instrumental role in President Trump's enormous success to put America first. And by America, I mean us. Mr. Nutlick's dealings with the automakers showed how his actions can ripple out to affect entire industries. In October, after the lengthy talks about tariffs, Mr. Nutlick and his deputies told the automakers they would get a credit retroactive to May, according to the 6 industry executives. In an earnings call on October 23rd, Ford's chief executive, Jim Farley, thanked Mr. Dump and his team for the credit. The tariffs would still cost Ford $1 billion, but that was half as much as previously thought. Look at how sad. Look at how sad these guys look. I think I already saved. I have an image of this because I loved it so much. These faces. Wait, I gotta show it because this is a good one. I mean, where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Oh, wait. Let me... replace? Sorry. New system. I have a little bit of a... I don't know what this means. Extra... Wait. I need a screenshot. I need a screenshot. Oh, here we go. All right. This is the picture. Oh, shoot. It's not big enough. Wait. Oh! Look at those faces. I just love this guy's face. Wait, you can't see my thing. This guy's face is so funny. I just can't believe it. Anyway, sorry. I am a child. It's true. I am a child. It's very true. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, expect those guys to show up on a thumbnail one of these days, okay? Then things changed. In late December, the automakers were told that the credit would start 6 months later than they had been told. Privately, executives said they were surprised and felt misled, but they were unwilling to speak out publicly against Mr. Nutlick because he still holds great sway over their business interests. The sudden shift would, so doesn't that statement in and of itself make you think, why are you being held hostage by your own government that is supposed to be supporting you as the government to your American business. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't that sound off bells in your fucking head, Jim Farley, that you've been boondoggled? Is that not a thing? I just, it's so stupid. The sudden shift would cost the automakers hundreds of millions of dollars each and much more in the case of Ford. Yeah, we just saw it was $1 billion. 3 executives said they believed the administration was hesitant to return such a large sum of money. A representative for NUTLICKER said he had never promised the credits would be retroactive. While not every call goes our way, we have greatly appreciated Secretary NUTLICKER's willingness to listen to Ford as America's top auto producer and find creative solutions to tough problems, a Ford spokesman, Mark Truby, said. Wow, that's very incredibly unbrave. I'm sorry. On February 10th, Mr. Farley said on an earnings call that the unexpected and late year change meant tariffs would cost Ford $2 billion last year, double the previous forecast. He didn't single out anyone for blame. On February 11th, Mr. Farley and the chief executive of General Motors, Mary Barra, both turned up at Mr. NUTLICKER's chateau-style mansion in Washington to mingle with him at a winter party. So all's well that ends well. That's right. That's right, kids. You too. I mean, I just, it's pretty painfully obvious that this is extortion. And I don't know. I mean, I think our governments over time have certainly been not the good guys, in the world. And we have a lot to atone for, I think. I know. And yet, I find this particular moment in time confounding because none of this, I think Howard in particular is one of the most corrupt individuals. And I really think there needs to, and I haven't taken a close look. So there may be a lot of journalism on this that I just haven't been exposed to. So my apologies to any journalists who have been, on this. And I know there's a lot of journalistic reporting about the corruption and et cetera, which is great. But I kind of want someone to do the math for me. And maybe I don't think I can do it because I don't know that enough about economics or how the government funding works or all that. But I just feel like there should be a top line, back of the napkin kind of view of, okay, this much money was cut from the federal budget last year, right? By all the layoffs and the deferred blah, 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 blah. Okay. All that money cut from the government, right? Then you also cut funding for all these different programs. So that's more money that should be not spent by the government, right? So, and then you have these new schemes where you've got hundreds of billions of dollars coming in during the year in tariff money. And yet you still have a national debt that is almost $40 trillion. You still have a budget deficit of, I don't know, what was it, 13 trillion or something like that? I can't remember what it was. So I need to understand why the math isn't mathing. Like with all this money saved, why isn't there money? Why isn't there money to pay down the debt? Right? Yeah, the self-dealing is off the rails. And I guess I'm just not seeing the, A, B, C, D kind of the whole thing that really puts into perspective. And maybe that's not the right example, right? Like maybe it's not, it's not as simple, if you will, as, this much money was cut, this much money was spent, or whatever. But something tells me there's something weird because now we've got, what is this? What was the thing I copied? United States Investment Accelerator? What the fuck? I got to check that out. Let me see if I can find it. See what this says, if it's easy. Okay, let's read this. Oh, That is not what I wanted to be. Oh, okay. All right. So this is from the UN Trade and Development website. I could have gone to the government website for the EO, but I thought I'd just go ahead and read it from here. And this is the United States Investment Accelerator. All right, so this is from March of last year. They established it. In implementation of the America First investment policy on March 31st, the government of the United States announced the U.S. Investment Accelerator would become operational within 30 days. The new entity is tasked with facilitating inward investments above $1 billion by assisting investors as they navigate the regulatory processes, reducing regulatory burdens, and identifying any existing mechanisms, exceptions, and opportunities in federal law that can be used to assist foreign and domestic investors consistent with the protection of national security. Increasing access and use of national resources, facilitating research collaborations with national labs, and working with state governments in all 50 states to reduce regulatory barriers to an increased domestic and foreign investment in the United States. All right. The Investment Accelerator shall also be responsible for the CHIPS program office. Okay. I guess I have to go here. God damn it. But the power of authority invests in me, but whoa! Fuck you. Fuck you. Purpose. The United States is the most powerful economy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Isn't interest? Wait. Oh, God. Just give me the information. Okay. All right. That just tells them. Okay. Is the policy to modernize its processes, attract substantial domestic and foreign investment in the United States, and assist those building here for the benefit of our nation's economic prosperity, to unleash investment from our small businesses to our largest companies. Okay. Within 30 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Commerce, in coordination with the Secretary of the Treasury and the Assistant to the President of Economic Policy, shall establish within the Department of Commerce an office named in the United States Investment Accelerator. The Investment Accelerator shall facilitate and accelerate all investments above $1 billion in the United States by assisting investors as they navigate regulatory processes efficiently, reduce burdens, etc. We read that. The Investment Accelerator shall be headed by an executive director and staffed with legal, transactional, operational, and support staff as directed by the Secretary of Commerce, NUTLICKER. The Investment Accelerator shall be responsible for the CHIPS program, which shall focus on delivering the benefit of the bargain for taxpayers by negotiating much better deals than those of the previous administration. God, thanks, Obama. The Investment Accelerator shall identify any existing mechanisms, exceptions, and opportunities in federal law that can be used. Oh, so loopholes. They're looking for loopholes. That's cool. Nothing in this order shall be, okay. The authority, blah, blah, blah. The functions, wait, what? The authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or the functions of the director of OMB relating to budgetary. This order shall be implemented consistent. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't tell me anything. Well, so I guess I'm just going to have to do my stupid little search. Yeah, they just say who's going to stop us. You're right. Okay, I really missed a lot in this beautiful chat. Let me just see if I can catch up a teeny tiny bit. Nutlick sucks. That's right, Canada. Tell him. You tell him. How about what Lutnick did to the families of his employees that were killed in the World Trade Center? I'm not sure. What did the counterfeit? How did they respond to that? I can't recall actually now. I remember, obviously, they were hugely impacted. Louisiana approves map eliminating majority black district because this country is hell-bent on hate. Certain states, hell-bent. Let's see. Not sure that it isn't terrible for, say, drug discovery at NIH, who you'll recall isolated and characterized and studied what became Viagra while researching heart. Well, I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind that. The phosphor did. It's easy to create a shell company that always bids exorbitantly high. That way, when you're moderately high, yes, this is it. This is a good one. When your moderately high bid gets accepted, you claim, look, we saved money over the other options, hook, line, and grift. Yep. That's it. Dan has never been in the mob, so there you go. Just as a breaking news, he's not been in the mob. Let's see. The words corruption and grift trigger me. Wait, Griffey. Because those are things people try and hide. It's all obvious now. Why pretend? I mean, I don't know. Should we be grateful that they don't pretend that they're not doing it, and at least we know? Is that it? This is just, you're right. This is just him grabbing people by the balls and being an asshole. And you know what? I never like guys like that. Like, if they're just like, I was in the brokerage industry in the 80s, okay? In the 90s. I know that world very well. And I know Howard Nutlicks. I know the Nutlickers of the world, okay? And they're just as fucking gross and disgusting as you think they are. In real life as well as in their professional life. God, man. Where's that house? Sigh. That Louisiana map isn't surprising, but very saddening. Very unacceptable, frankly. I think we need to keep the outrage. That's all we've got right now. Like, that's all we fucking have. God bless the people in Newark, New Jersey who are standing up to ICE as well. I just want to shout them out because they're putting themselves in the line of fire. And we're not done with that, are we? Fuck. All right. The self-dealing, yeah, it's just off the fucking. Why do you think they shouldn't save any documents from this administration? Oh my God. It's interesting. I wonder what's happening with that. Carla. Hi, Carla girl. Investors' lives matter. Apparently they don't. Actually, Carla, you should say insiders' lives matter, because it's only the insiders who are going to win. Even this poor Ford, this guy in Ford, he's like so depressed. He's lost $1 billion because of a self-inflicted wound by his own government. $1 billion, $2 billion, and he only has $1 billion because he got reimbursed because they probably had to fight. We should have never bailed out those big banks. Yeah, the outrage is all we've got. It's not all we've got. That's not true, but it's helpful. It's helpful. All right. Well, I will see you tonight. Tonight. Oh, it's gonna be tonight. Oh. I'm gonna see you tonight for trivia. It's back, bitches. And Lolo is ready. I'm ready to quiz you. I'm gonna quiz you. So I'm going to quiz you. Trivia lives matter. What'd you say? Lobster? Oh, globsters. Globsters. Yeah, there you go. Globsters. Inside Trump's bunghole. Inside Trump's bunghole, you'll find Stephen Miller. That's right. And you'll find Putin and maybe Scott Bessent. Anyway, hi, Paul. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, bud. The answers are Uranus, Urani, and Uranuses. Hey, it's Uranus. And anyone needed a cheat sheet for tonight. Yeah, thank you, meowing. Or lawn Wait, lawnmower sugar. It's also lawnmower sugar. So yeah. Lolo's back. I'm back, bitches. Better than ever. When Dump awarded the deceased fireman at the Lolo rally and his wife went to the mic and thanked the New York Times, the look on his face was hilarious. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that. Oh, how about Blue Origin? Uh-oh. Boom. Boom. Last week, I spammed the 5-8 chat so much, Greg said, it's almost distracting funny, which proudly means quit spamming my chat. This is an open mic night. Hey, man. Hey, Greg, you got to ignore the chat if it's getting to you, bud. You got to ignore the chat. Love Greg. I love Greg and LB so much. Wonderful. The 5-8. Yes, don't miss the 5-8 tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Definitely. I think RadPod might be this afternoon, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't checked. So make sure you take a look out for Radicalized Pod to see if they're going to be doing their thing today. Hi-Fi and Jim and Heidi. The dynamic trio. And then I will be the last to see you tonight, hopefully at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I love that for Bezos. Apparently it was a bad boom because I heard that it actually set his program back. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's true. But it was reported, I think this morning I heard it. It was on NPR. It was like talking about the explosion and the fact that it really is a setback for, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, who cares? I love how Mamdani made Beans pay his $9 million in fine. I don't know. I think Mamdani is really doing an amazing job just in terms of being present, being out there. I mean, the city council and the other press he had a great press conference yesterday, and I'm sorry that we missed it. But I really, we should keep track of what's happening in New York, because I really do I think that if he's able to achieve even half the things that he says he wants to achieve, that is just an amazing accomplishment. And I am fully on board. I want to live in Mamdani's America. For sure. All right. I just adore you. Thank you so much for coming this morning. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. Thank you for liking the broadcast. Those little gestures help me so much. You don't even know. It's just amazing. I think that's how we've grown. We're so close to 1,500 subscribers. It's insane. I keep getting to 14.99 and then 2 people say, "Fuck you, Lolo," and they drop off. And so, yeah, let's get this to 1,500 just to break the seal. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I will. Wait, where am I? I will see you later. Goodbye.